Hello guys, good evening. Welcome to GradeUp, India's largest online education platform. My name is Harshmeet Singh. I am a part of the UPSC and State PSC team at GradeUp. In this very special lecture, I will be discussing with you the discretionary powers that are given to the President of India and to the governors of different states that we have in India. A very important topic for Indian polity, for the prelims as well as for the mains examination. If you are appearing for UPSC, EPFO examination, or even if you are appearing for the state civil services examination. Hi Yogita, hi Dhana, good evening to you all. I welcome you all. I'm so glad to see you all on time. So in this lecture, I will be talking to you about what exactly do you mean by discretionary powers, what are the different types of discretionary powers that these two have, and are there any exceptions. This is a topic which people do get confused in certain times, so I'll try and focus on all these doubts and try and resolve all of them. Hello Sridevi, hello Prinshu, hi all of you, good evening. Now before beginning, I would like to clarify you something about what the President of India does and what exactly do you mean by discretionary powers. Before jumping on to what are these of different kind, what are the exceptions, it is obviously important to know what do you mean by discretionary powers and how is it that the President of India works. Most of you would know that President's position in India is almost like a rubber stamp. Means the President in India does not really work on his own. He is the one who is told by his Council of Ministers how to work, what to work, even in the most basic things. Do you know even the speeches that he gives, even the bills that he signs, even if he, let's say, signs an ordinance, or if he signs that India is going on a war, for any of these things the President does not really use his own discretion. Discretion means when you are allowed to do something on your own. President of India always has to act on what the Council of Ministers are telling him. The COM written here is Council of Ministers, so don't be confused with the short form. Whenever the Constitution says that it is a pleasure of the President or satisfaction of the President, in reality it is a satisfaction of the Council of Ministers. In reality it is the pleasure of the Council of Ministers, not the President. This is a situation because the office of the President was taken from the UK monarch. In Britain also their king or the queen have similar powers, similar functions. So we took it upon themselves, and that is how the President's office works in India. As long as the Council of Ministers are in power, as long as they have the majority in the Lok Sabha, the President has to abide by what the Council of Ministers are saying. Also, if he does not listen to the advice of Council of Ministers or he acts contrary to that, for example, if the Council of Ministers told him that please sign on this ordinance, or Council of Ministers told him that please proclaim state emergency or financial emergency, and he ignores that, then President can be impeached for the violation of the Constitution, because the Constitution says he has to work according to what the Council of Ministers are saying. So if he does not follow what the Council of Ministers are saying, he can be impeached. Why? Because he is violating the Constitution. He is going against the Constitution. So that is how important it is for the President to work as per the Council of Ministers. Now this was not always the case. हमेशा ऐसा नहीं था. It was by the 42nd Constitution Amendment 1976 introduced by the Indira Gandhi government that the advice of Council of Ministers was made binding for the President. So 42nd Constitution Amendment 1976 under Indira Gandhi, because Indira Gandhi as the Prime Minister wanted to take control of everything. She wanted to make sure President listens to him. That is why her government introduced this amendment, under which now President has to abide by whatever the Council of Ministers are saying. He cannot go against it. We then had the 44th Amendment 1978. It was introduced by Janata Party government. Janata Party government changed this very slightly. There was a very minor change. What was that change? As per the 44th Amendment, the President can return the advice once, just once. But if the Council of Ministers repeat the same advice, then he has to accept it. Hello Ranjita. Again, let me repeat. If, for example, the Council of Ministers tell the President that you have to declare financial emergency, now President can send it back once. Means President can ask the ministers, please reconsider, I think it is a bad decision. The Council of Ministers, if they repeat the same thing again, then the President has to accept that. This is the present status, which was given in 44th Constitutional Amendment 1978. President can send back the advice of the minister, but only once, but for the second time he has to accept it. Now, the President of India does not have any discretionary powers as per the Constitution. As per the Constitution, President cannot act on his own under any situation. Dipanshu, the daily time for YouTube class is 8 p.m. So as per the Constitution के हिसाब से, the President cannot act on his own under any circumstances. However, remember, there are certain situations in which President does act on his own. How? Because Constitution does not say anything. There are some situations in which Constitution is quiet, it is silent. Thus, in those situations, President can act on his own. So let me repeat it. As per the Constitution, President cannot act on his own. But there are certain very few situations जहाँ पे he has no option but to act on his discretion only. Now, what are these situations? First, while appointing the Prime Minister, if no single party has the majority. If no single party has the majority, then who would be the Prime Minister? The President can decide on his own. I'll give you an example. For example, there is a Lok Sabha election. In the Lok Sabha, party needs 272 seats for the majority. Let us assume the results are BJP gets 200 seats. Congress also got 200 seats. Aam Aadmi Party, let's say, got 100 seats. Trinamool Congress got 50 seats. These are Trinamool Congress got 43 seats. So that is how the results are. Now obviously no single party can form the government. Now which party to invite to form the government, this is the President's discretion. Harsh, whatever your question is, please ask in the chat. So now President can act on his own, because in such situations, Constitution does not tell him what to do. Constitution is not clear what to do. So this allows the President to act on his own discretion. Apart from this, if something happens to the Prime Minister, for example, when Indira Gandhi died, she was the Prime Minister. Jawaharlal Nehru, Lal Bahadur Shastri, when these people passed away, they were the Prime Ministers. So if the Prime Minister passes away, immediately who do you appoint as the next Prime Minister, as the caretaker? Because without the Prime Minister, the country will not be able to function. So immediately you want someone as the Prime Minister. So immediately who will be the Prime Minister? The President can decide that. For a short time, President can appoint the Prime Minister as a caretaker. This also is his discretionary power. Without asking the ministers, he can do that. Then he can dissolve the Lok Sabha if the Council of Ministers lose the majority support. If the Council of Ministers do not have the support in the Lok Sabha, then the President of India can dismiss the government without asking anyone. Okay? Dhana, see, 1 month is a bit less for UPSC preparation, because you need preparation for at least 7 or 8 months to clear the prelims. But if you start preparing right now, maybe the prelims gets delayed, so you will have more time. Or even if you do not have enough time for this year, you will have enough time for next year. So if you have started preparation, I cannot say this is enough time for this year's prelims. It really depends upon you, your knowledge, how much you read. But the prelims might get even more delayed, you might get even more time. Or for the next year prelims, that would be a good time. Next, if the Council of Ministers loses majority in the Lok Sabha, then the government can be dismissed by the President. President does not have to wait कि ministers बोलेंगे then I will dismiss the government. No. If the government loses majority in the Lok Sabha, President on his own discretion can dismiss the government. These are the discretionary powers of the President of India. President of India acts on his own discretion without asking the ministers in such cases. Now coming to the governor. In case of the governor, interestingly, Constitution also gives the governor certain powers. So Constitution does tell that in certain situations governor can act on his own. The situational discretion of the governor is the same as the president. Means the situations in which the president can act on his discretion, governor will also act on his own discretion in those situations. Means if something happens to chief minister, who becomes the next chief minister? If no party is in majority, who becomes the chief minister? Then if government loses majority, to dismiss the government. All these are discretionary powers with the governor also. But governor has certain additional discretionary powers which the constitution has given to the governor. Now what are these? First, if the governor wants to send certain bill to the President of India. All of you are great students, all of you have learned very well. So all of you would have read that governor can send certain bills to the President of India, right? If there is a bill that is declining the power of the state high court, then that bill will be sent to the President of India. Or if there is a certain bill of the state which is against directive principles, it is about acquiring of property, that bill also governor can send to the President of India. So it is governor's discretionary power. Which bill does he want to send to the president? Which bill does he not want to send to the president? The governor decides on his own. Okay. Next, if the governor wants to recommend president's rule in the state, he can do it on his own. He does not have to wait for the ministers to tell him. The governor can write a report to the president asking that president should impose state emergency. Then, if governor of one state, for example, let's say we have governor of Tamil Nadu, he is also given charge of, let's say, Lakshadweep. So the governor of Tamil Nadu also acts as the administrator of Lakshadweep. In that case, he will not listen to Tamil Nadu ministers when he is presiding over Lakshadweep. So if governor of a state is given additional charge of a union territory, then for that union territory, he will not listen to the state ministers. He will work on his own discretion while he is handling the union territory. Then there is certain special power with governors of these 4 states. Guys, I have a question for you very quickly. Tell me the names of these 4 states are written in which schedule? These 4 states are written in which schedule? What is the schedule number, guys? Very quickly tell me. These 4 states are written in which schedule of the constitution? Schedules anyways are very, very important. You need to remember schedules 1 to 12, which schedule has what. I know most of you would have read the schedules. So that is why I am asking. Very good, guys. Very good. So Neil, it is a big question. I'll answer that when we discuss anti-defection law. Very good, Nishit. Very good, Asif. Bahut badhiya. So 6th schedule of the constitution. The 6th schedule of the constitution has the names of these 4 states. Now there is something very interesting that happens in these 4 states. Very good, Sanju. Very good, Krishna. In these 4 states, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, in 4 states में क्या होता है? In these 4 states there is a lot of mineral resources. Okay. So when the government, the state government sells these minerals, they earn a lot of money. So for example, let's assume that Assam governments, they sold minerals and they earned 1000 crore rupees. Now when you extract minerals, whenever the government extract minerals, the problem is it leads to a lot of disruption, it leads to a lot of pollution. So बहुत खुदाई होगी, there would be a lot of land that would be excavated. The life of the people would change. So that is why what happens is, in these 4 states, the governor can decide that a part of this revenue, iska ek hissa, will go back to these areas to tribal district councils. So in the area where minerals are explored, these areas will get certain money from the government for their own development. Certain money which the government earned from mineral exploration. So the governor can decide what percentage of this earning will go back to these areas for their development. What will be that percentage? The governor will decide. That can be any percentage, 5%, 10%, 20%. The governor will decide what percentage, how much percentage of this money will go back to the area where development should take place. So this is also his discretionary power. He does not ask the ministers, he decides on his own. Then last, he can ask the chief minister about what is happening in the state. He can ask the chief minister about what is happening in the state government. Are you passing a bill or not? आप क्या कर रहे हो, क्या नहीं कर रहे हो? Because at the end of the day, governor is the head of the state. He has the right to know what is happening in the state. So he can ask the chief ministers about the business of the government. Then, as I said earlier, whatever discretionary powers are with the president, governor has the same discretionary powers. Whatever the president does on his discretion, the governor can also do so at the state level. What were these situations? Number one, if no party has a clear majority, then who will be the chief minister? The governor decides. If no single party has a majority, who will be the chief minister? The governor decides on his own. You cannot ask the governor, no one can advise the governor, he decides on his own. Secondly, if the Council of Ministers lose majority in the Legislative Assembly, so if the Council of Ministers lose majority, then he can dismiss the government. So governor can dismiss the government when the government has lost majority in the Legislative Assembly. Remember this part. This was same as the president. President ke case mein we have read, the president can dismiss the government when the government loses majority in the Lok Sabha. The governor can dismiss the government when the government loses majority in the Legislative Assembly. So these are discretionary powers depending upon the situation. This is why it is called situational discretion. It depends upon the situation. The constitution also gives certain discretionary powers to the governor. Now remember, if you have a question in your prelims and the question is, as per the constitution, does president have discretionary powers? The answer is no. As per the constitution, president does not have discretionary powers. On the other hand, if the question is as per the constitution, does governor has discretionary powers? Then the answer is yes. As per the constitution, governor does have discretionary powers. So interestingly, president is not given discretionary powers, the governor is given discretionary. Just to remind you, अगर आपने अभी तक GradeUp app download नहीं किया है, please download the GradeUp app to give practice questions and attend live classes to successfully fulfill your dream of getting the best job in the country, that is the IAS. I want to see all of you in my class. I want to hope कि सब लोग मेरी क्लास में आएं so that we can study more. Thank you so much for watching guys. Bye. Good night.